pop on during Shavasana, then please feel free to. I thought we'd start the practice in a comfortable seated position. So I'm going to grab my little cushion here and make your way. So you can cross the legs, you can extend them out in front, sit on the heels, just do whatever feels best in your body. And take a moment resting the hands either onto the thighs with the palms facing down, particularly if you're perhaps needing a little bit of grounding tonight. I know things have been quite chaotic and in some respects quite stressful, so if grounding is what you're needing from this practice, then just have the palms down. Otherwise, if you feel as though you need to draw in a little bit of energy from this practice, if you need to connect with me and your colleagues and maybe lift your spirits a little bit, then have the palms facing upwards. And whenever you're ready, allow your eyes to gently close. And just start to watch the inhales and the exhales naturally arriving and leaving through your nose. So perhaps at this point, not changing the rhythm or the length of your breath, but simply allowing the breath to flow freely, to flow naturally. And with our eyes closed and this inward gaze, just exploring what the breath is telling you this evening. So notice, is the breath travelling quite deeply all the way down into the belly without much effort? Or are you simply experiencing a gentle rise and fall in the heart space? And if the breath perhaps is slightly shorter, perhaps the breath feels slightly more laboured, maybe that's a bit of a reflection of the kind of day that you've had. Or maybe if the breath is flowing quite freely, quite easily, and you feel like it's quite easy to breathe deeply without much effort, then again, perhaps that's a reflection of where you are right now. And try not to attribute the quality of your breath to one particular source. So it's less about looking inwards and trying to find out the source of these feelings, these emotions, but more just starting to notice where you are in space. And if things have been hectic, if you've been snowed under with trying to change perhaps the way that you're working, or maybe you're homeschooling children or something along those lines, then could be the first opportunity that you've had all day just to stop and just to start to notice what's going on for you. So perhaps not just stopping at observing your natural breath, but also starting to notice what kind of physical sensations you're experiencing tonight. So just mentally scanning through the body. If there are spaces of tightness and tension, just giving them a little mental nod, acknowledging them. Perhaps making a promise to your body that you won't push it too far, particularly if you are feeling a little bit achy. And checking in, how active is your mind? How quickly are those thoughts passing through? What kind of energy levels are you working with in this moment? And then gradually allowing your breath to deepen. And starting to allow your breath to be your one and only focus. So as you inhale, starting to feel the breath flooding down toward the base of the belly, expanding through the sides of the rib cage, lifting the breath right up toward the crown of the head. And as you exhale, that sense of almost deflating the body, so the belly button draws back to the spine. The chest starts to lower and soften, and the shoulders relax. So long, deep inhales followed by slow and controlled exhales. And I thought we'd start this practice this evening with some alternate nostril breathing in order to really calm the nervous system down after your day, but also to start to balance out the energy channels of the body. So I'd like you to take your right hand and curl the second and third finger down into the center of the palm. With the left hand, you can have the thumb and first finger together to find Chin Mudra, and then have the back of the left hand onto the knee. So we're going to close the right nostril with the right thumb, and then inhale through the left as fully as you can. When you get to the top, close the left nostril, exhale through the right. Big, deep inhale through the right. Closing off the right, exhaling through the left. Inhaling deeply through the left. Closing the left and exhaling through the right. Inhaling through the right. At the top, closing off and exhaling through the left. And just keep this going for a few more rounds. So don't worry if you get a little bit mixed up as to which nostril is supposed to be open and closed. Just start to breathe nice and deeply. And just work with your own movement, your own time, your own space. And as I said, this pranayama, this breath work, is really good for balancing the energy channels of the body. So supposedly our left side governs our feminine energy, so our slow, our relaxed energies, the ones that make us perhaps feel slightly tired, fatigued, or relaxed. And then on the right side we have our masculine energies. We have the high energies, which perhaps govern things like hyperactivity, frustration, and any kind of emotion that you might associate with a higher sense of energy. So when we breathe this way, using our alternate nostril breath, we're trying to balance out the energy channels. So rather than feeling very, very tired and lethargic, or feeling very high energy, or maybe angry or frustrated, we start to get back to that point of balance. So just taking one more breath in, one more breath out. And then when you're ready, releasing the back of your right hand down onto your thigh and just taking a big inhale through both nostrils. And a big exhale through both nostrils. So perhaps just having a moment here, noticing how you feel. And setting an intention just to keep this deep breath flowing as much as possible as we start to move our body now. So we'll start in a simple side stretch. Bring the soles of the feet together into Baddha Konasana. So you'll find that the knees will naturally fall out wide. And if hips are tight, the knees might be slightly higher, and you may want to have a slightly larger gap between the pubic bone and the heels. If your hips are fairly open, bring the heels closer toward the pubic bone and let the knees fall out slightly wider. And if you did have blocks and the knees are high, you could pop them underneath, but not 100% necessary. So let's take hold of our left ankle with our right hand and inhale as we stretch the left arm alongside the ear. As you breathe out, think about pressing down through the left sit bone and stretching your left arm up and over toward the side wall. So just finding a nice deep stretch through the left side body. See if you can keep your shoulders relaxed, and if you want to relax the neck, then maybe you're turning the gaze down toward the right knee. So try not to round yourself forwards here, try to keep the chest open toward the ceiling and find that deep stretch through the left side body. Good, moving into a neck release, bringing the left arm down beside you, pressing through the center of the palm and maybe rolling the left shoulder back slightly. And we'll start to turn the chin down in the direction of the right shoulder. And relax the head, relax the neck, just let it go completely. And now deep breathing, starting to make some small movements with the head. So maybe the chin turns down toward the right shoulder to start, but perhaps then you start to turn your chin up, across and down in a nice big circle, moving very slowly. Just start to notice, is there any other space in the neck which is very tight, which is very tense and needs a little bit of extra breath? So if that's the case, maybe you're returning to one of those spots, pausing there, reaching through the center of the left hand. And just seeing if you can again explore the side of the neck with your breath. Maybe as you pause there and breathe there, you start to feel the side of the neck opening out a little bit more. Well done. Bring the right hand onto the side of your head to lift it back up onto the center line. Allow the fingertips of your left hand to come behind you and then take the right hand onto the left knee, twisting from here. So deep breath in, lengthen up through the central column of your body. And then breathing out, soften through the belly and the shoulders and start to turn. So maybe just checking in on the placement of your left hand. If it's too far behind you, you might find that you're leaning back. So have the fingertips nice and close to the seat. So as you press down into the back arm, you're really finding as much length through the body as you can. Good, and then gently come all the way back to the center. Excellent job. Let's take it to the second side. So left hand takes hold of the right ankle. Inhale, right arm high. So as you breathe out, press down through the right seat. And as you inhale, there's a sense of stretching the right arm all the way up and over to find as much space through the side body as you can. And again, you might want to turn the gaze down toward your left knee so that the neck isn't working here. You want the neck to be nice and relaxed. Notice whether you can expand the breath into the right side rib cage. Well done. Let's come into our neck release. So the right arm comes alongside you. Press through the center of the palm and allow the left ear to move toward the left shoulder. So the head is completely heavy here. You might want to roll the right shoulder back slightly. If it feels good for you, again, just exploring the movement of your chin. So turning it down toward the left shoulder, lifting it up, turning it around. As you move nice and steady, nice and slowly, just seeing, is there another spot, another area in the neck where you can pause and just breathe into that space. Good. Gently start to bring your left hand onto the side of your head to take it up to the top, right fingertips to the floor behind you. Left hand onto right knee, twisting from here. Inhale, lengthen up tall. Exhale, soften the belly and shoulders and start to turn. So really think, every breath in, you're trying to lift up through the crown of the head. Every breath out, maybe you're just using a very slight bit of pressure on the right knee to turn you further round. One more here. Good, and then very gently coming all the way back to the center. Well done. Bring the soles of your feet to the floor. If you're sat on anything, just move it over to one side for now. And we'll make our way down onto our back. So reach the fingertips forwards, make sure you've got enough space behind you, drawing in the belly, starting to lower your low, your mid, your upper back, all the way down to the floor until the back of your head touches down. And we'll do a little bit of ab work this evening, just so that we're connecting with our intrinsic core muscles. So I'd like you to keep the soles of the feet flat to the floor and hip distance apart for this. Interlace the hands, pop them behind the back of your head and point both elbows straight up toward the ceiling, like you're trying to cradle the back of your skull. Take a really big breath down into your low belly. Feel the low back press into the floor, and then exhale, send both elbows towards your right knee and squeeze your tummy down. Inhale, come back to center, but keep the back of your head and shoulders lifted. Hold the breath there, feel your tailbone curling up. Exhale, elbows to left knee. Squeeze low belly down as much as you can. Inhale. Come back to center, press low back into mat. Exhale, elbows towards right knee. Squeeze low belly down. If you want more, try and lift the bottom tip of right shoulder away from the ground. Inhale, back to center. Hold the breath, curl up the tailbone. Exhale, elbows to left knee. Draw low belly down. See if you can lift the bottom tip of left shoulder blade higher. Good, halfway there. Inhale, back to center. Hold the breath. Press low back to floor. Exhale, elbows to right knee. Squeeze low belly down. This time, see if you can lift the bottom tips of both shoulder blades a little higher. Good. Inhale, back to center. Hold the breath. Curl up the tailbone. Exhale, elbows to left knee. Draw low belly down. Keep reaching through your elbows. Inhale, back to center. Hold the breath. Press low back to floor. Exhale, elbows to right knee. Squeeze low belly down again. Lift up through the backs of the shoulders. Last one, inhale back to center. Hold the breath, curl up the tailbone. Exhale, elbows to left knee. Squeeze low belly down, lift up through the backs of the shoulders, lift up through the elbows, and then gently release. Big sigh out through the mouth. Take a moment or two, soften into the belly. Just allow yourself to be still for a moment. And from here, we'll start to make our way into a gentle bridge pose. So, walk the heels a little closer in towards the bottom and reach your fingertips down toward the backs of the heels. You should be able to roughly tap the tip of your middle finger to the backs of the heels. Turn the palms of your hands upwards to face the ceiling. Take a big breath in through your nose. And then as you exhale, press down through your heels and start to lift up through the spine. So low, mid, upper back, reaching up and away from the floor. And just start to explore your breath in this posture. So as you inhale, feel your rib cage expanding to the sides. As you exhale, feel belly button drawing in and tailbone lengthening to create more space in the low back. So we've always got this sense of the tailbone curling under, almost like tailbone is curling toward the heels on our exhales. And the inner thighs are squeezing into the centre line, almost like you are holding a football between them. Good, take 2 more really big breaths here if you can. And on your next out breath, draw in the tummy and just lower yourself to the floor with as much control as possible. Take a moment, let the low back settle. And when you feel ready, just roll yourself over to one side and find your way up onto your hands and knees. So hopefully feeling a little bit warmer now. So as you make your way onto your hands and knees, ensure that the hands are under shoulders and the knees are underneath the hips. You might want to curl under the toes here as well, just to stretch out the soles of your feet. Let's come into a little shoulder opener, thread the needle. So inhale, right arm high. And then exhale, threading the right arm between the left hand and knee to bring your right ear and the outer edge of your right shoulder all the way down to the floor. So I always find that this is quite a nice posture to do, particularly if you've had a long day and you're feeling like you're quite tight and tense through the neck and the shoulders. So see how it feels, perhaps just to close the eyes here. And if you're somebody who naturally tenses up into the jaw as you stretch out into the shoulders, maybe you're just gliding the bottom set of teeth from left to right. Good. Inhale, reach the right arm high, open the chest. Exhale, lower your hand to the floor. Second side, inhale, left arm high. Exhale, thread the arm through between your right hand and knee, bringing your left ear and shoulder down to the mat. So big inhales. And as you breathe out, if you want to take this deeper, press slightly more firmly through the right hand. And notice how that changes the dynamic of the stretch. So every time you breathe in, there's a sense of trying to balloon the breath into the outer left shoulder. Every exhale, that sense that energetically you're just melting away whatever tension you're holding in that space. Go, press through the right palm, left hand high, reach up. Big breath out as you take your left hand down to the floor. From here, we'll find our way into downward facing dog. So tuck under the toes, hover the knees a couple of inches away from the mat, then press the chest through the arms toward the thighs, keeping a nice deep bend in your knees here, maybe even just pedaling out through the feet to open up through the backs of your legs, your hamstrings and your calves. And if you prefer to keep this static, feel free to lengthen your heels down toward the floor. But if with the legs straight you find that the upper back is rounding, it's better to have the knees bent so that you can really get that sense of bringing the chest toward the thighs and lengthening through the back body. Think about where your hands are as well, so spreading through the palms, pressing down through the center of the palm so there's no air underneath, every single knuckle of the hand connecting into the mat. So if you're still wiggling, just finding your way to stillness. And as you breathe in, soften into both knees, look to the hands, and then step the feet forwards to find a little forward fold here. So a bit of softness in the knees so that your back can remain straight. Don't worry about having the legs straight. And relax the neck, let the head hang down. And let's traction out the back of the neck. So interlace your hands, pop them around the base of the skull. Don't yank or pull the head down, just allow the weight of your hands to traction out the back of your neck. Elbows are really heavy toward the floor, so see if you can relax the arms a little bit more. And if it feels good here to take a little sway from left to right, you're welcome to do so. And again, just do what feels intuitive in your body. So if it feels right just to stay static, you're welcome to do so. And if you're swaying, do so in time with your breath. So we're starting to make this practice a moving meditation. Good, finding your way to stillness. Let the fingertips dangle to the mat, inhale. Exhale, draw belly button to spine, slow spinal roll up to standing. Allow your head to be the very last thing that arrives at the top, and find Tadasana. So step the feet together, turning the palms forwards, arms are alongside the body. Cleansing breath in, big exhale. Let's move through a couple of half sun salutes. So as you breathe in, reach the arms above the head and turn your gaze to your thumbs. As you exhale, soften into your knees and forward fold over the thighs. Inhale, lengthen into flat back. So perhaps bringing the hands onto the shins as you lift the chest. Exhale, forward fold, turn your gaze to your belly button. Big breath in, arms wide, reach up. Big breath out, take the arms down by the side body. Good, inhale, reach. Exhale, soften the knees and fold. Inhale, lift the chest into flat back. Exhale, fold yourself forwards. Inhale, arms high, reach up. Exhale, arms down by the side body. Good, last time. Inhale, stretch up through the fingertips. Moving with breath, exhale, soften the knees and fold. Inhale, flat back, lift the chest. Exhale, fold over the legs again. This time, bend the knees and see can you get your hands down to the floor. Step just your left foot toward the back of your mat. So nice big step. Right knee stacks directly over the right ankle. Make sure that you're on the ball of your back foot. Take a big inhale, lift the chest. And then as you exhale, reach through that left heel a little bit more, squeezing into the bottom. Let's take this into easy twisting lunge. So the left hand stays grounded, the right arm reaches high. Inhale, open up through your chest. And to give the shoulders a rest, take hold of your waistband with your right hand or reach for the top of your left hip. So as you inhale, there's a sense of turning the chest toward the ceiling. And maybe as you exhale, you're relaxing the neck and letting the head hang. 2 more big breaths. And on your next exhale, spiral your right hand down to the floor and lower the back knee to the mat. So again, if knees are sensitive, slide a little cushion underneath. Let's walk the right foot slightly wider, so the outer edge of the foot lines with the outer edge of the mat. And take the right arm to the inner, or the right hand to the inner edge of the right foot. So moving into more of a lizard lunge this time. Big breath in. As you exhale, squeeze into the bottom. You might want to bend into the elbows and lower the chest a little closer to the floor. If you have blocks and you want to take blocks under forearms, you're welcome to. If you're able to take the forearms all the way down to the mat and that feels good in your body, then stay there if you prefer. Try not to allow this right knee to bow out wide. You want to hug the right knee to outer right shoulder, squeezing the bottom so that we're really using the outer hips and the glutes to sustain us, and we're not just dumping all of our weight down into the hip joint. So deep breaths in and deep breaths out. 2 more. And then if you're on forearms or on blocks, come back up onto the hands. Let's heel toe the right foot between the hands once more. Tuck under the back toes and step your left foot in. So you want the soles of your feet to be flat to the mat. You can have your stance fairly short here if that feels good for you. Maybe the feet are about hip distance apart, so all 10 toes point straight ahead. And if the floor suddenly feels far away, hands come onto the front shin. So legs straight, inhale, lengthen. And then exhale, folding over the front leg. And let the head go if you can. Let the neck be soft. Try to keep the outer left hip moving forwards. And notice how that perhaps deepens the stretch in the back of your right leg. One more big breath in. Soften into the front knee, fingertips to hips, rising all the way up to standing and stepping to the top of the mat. Finding Tadasana, palms turn forwards. Inhale deeply and big breath out. Second side, inhale, reach up. Exhale, soften the knees, fold forwards. Inhale, that flat back position, hands to shins. Exhale, bend the knees, plant both hands down to the mat, step just your right foot back. Nice big stance here. So try not to have that back knee bent or the hips falling down toward the floor. Reach through the right heel. Try to ensure left knee stacks over the top of left ankle and lift up through the chest. So low body stays exactly as it is, finding our way into easy twisting lunge. So right hand on the floor, left arm to sky. Take a moment, look up so you're opening up through the chest, and then you have the option here again to wrap your left hand to hold waistband, or maybe to reach toward the top of the right hip. And perhaps you're even relaxing your neck here. Even if neck is relaxed, try not to round yourself to the floor. Try to think about rolling your left shoulder open. Well done. Gently spiral your left hand down to the inner edge of left foot and then walk that left foot wide. So it's lining with the outer edge of the mat. Lower back knee to the floor for your lizard lunge. Inhale. Exhale. Maybe you're staying as you are. Maybe you're softening into the elbows to bring the chest lower. Maybe forearms come to the mat or to block. So just choosing what works for you. Bottom switched on, left knee hugging outer left shoulder. Neck relaxed, head nice and heavy. And if the hips is a particularly tight spot in the body, you could even glide your bottom set of teeth from left to right nice and slowly here. A couple more big breaths. Okay, inhale, come back up onto the hands if you lower down. Just heel toe that left foot toward the centre line of the mat again, and then stepping your back foot in a little way. So finding our pyramid legs. So you might be here, if your hamstrings are slightly tighter, maybe the feet are slightly closer together, but make sure that all 10 toes point straight ahead. So you might want to take your feet slightly wider, maybe hip distance. If fingertips can't reach the floor, hands to front shin. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Think about sending the weight into your left heel, so into the front foot, and wrapping the outer right hip forwards. And as soon as you do that, you'll feel that deep stretch down the back of your left leg. And see if you can let go of the torso and just hang here. On your next inhale, lift the chest, soften into the front knee, fingertips to hips rising all the way up to standing and stepping the feet together at the top of the mat in Tadasana. So stretch the hands alongside you, big cleansing inhale through the nose, neutralizing breath out through the mouth. Let it go, well done. This time as we breathe in, stretch the arms above the head. And we're going to come into eagle arms. So I want you to take the right arm underneath the left. And if shoulders are tight, hold on to opposite shoulders here. Otherwise, you might be able to wrap your forearms, bringing the palms together. So start to soften into your knees, almost like you were sitting into an imaginary chair. Drawing in the belly. And we're going to step just the left foot to the back of the mat. So finding a warrior one stance with the legs. So the stance doesn't have to be particularly long. Make sure that the back heel is on the floor, and we're softening into the front knee and grounding into the back heel. So just have a little think about what's going on in the torso. If you feel like you're allowing the belly to move forwards and the bottom to stick out, thinking about drawing in, so you're curling under the tailbone. Another thing that can happen here is that the ribs can flare out of the torso. So again, thinking about really connecting with the intrinsic core that we warmed up in that ab exercise at the beginning of our practice. Taking another moment to press the forearms a little further forwards so that you're opening up into the shoulders a little bit more. And then opening into warrior two. So we're going to swing the arms open, step the back foot a little bit further behind. The front knee remains bent back, leg remains straight, and we're moving our gaze toward the right fingertips. So if you're not sure how long your stance should be here, make sure that your ankles are stacking underneath your wrists. So nice long stance now. And we'll take shoulder shrug variation here. So let the arms dangle down alongside the body. Inhale, draw the shoulders up to the ears. Squeeze them back and together. And then think about trying to draw the shoulder blades together as you take them down toward the floor. Good. Relax the shoulders as they fall naturally. Draw the shoulder blades straight back and together, so mid-shoulder blades squeezing in, and then drag them down the back. Good. This time, bend the elbows. Imagine you're holding your tray of drinks in each hand. Squeeze the bottom tips of the shoulder blades together, so the elbows come back and together. And then drag them down the back. Good. Inhale, stretch out through the arms. Gazing to the right hand, flip the right palm to sky, reverse warrior. So draw the right arm alongside your ear and let the left fingertips dangle down toward the outer edge of the back foot. So to get a greater stretch through the right side body, sink a little deeper into the front knee and then stretch the right fingertips all the way toward the wall behind you. So you're really finding as much length in the side waist as you can. One more big breath. And then breathing in to come up. Finding warrior two. So a little bit fiddly here. Take the fingertips onto the hips. Come up onto the ball of your back foot. So both hips point straight ahead now. And you're gently going to lower the back knee to the floor. Really control this transition if you can, so that it's a very soft landing for the back knee, but also so that you're using the thigh muscle to control. Inhale, left arm alongside the ear. Exhale, start to twist through your torso toward the right. And it might be that you stay here, otherwise you can hook the left elbow over the right knee, pressing the palms of your hands together. I'll turn around so you can see me. And just starting to turn and open up through the torso. And if you know that you're able to here, maybe you're tucking under the back toes and lifting the left knee away. If you know you're able to take a little bind here, again, that option is welcome. Just choose what feels best in your body right now. Forget about what this posture looks like. One more big breath in. And one more big breath out. Look down, fingertips to your hips and lift up. So I'll sweep round one more time. Coming into gate pose now. So we're going to take the right leg out to the side. Roughly the right heel lines up with the left knee. And you can either flex through the toes or point through the foot. Taking your right hand onto the right thigh, left arm alongside the ear. Big inhale. Exhale, opening up through the side body, taking a side stretch. So as you breathe deeper into this posture, you might be able to slide your right hand a little bit further down towards the ankle and to open up through the side waist a little bit more. Make sure that you're not rounding down toward the floor. Open the chest toward the sky. One more inhale. And exhale, start to come up. Good, fingertips to hips. Bring that right foot out in front. Hands either side of front foot, stepping to the top of your mat. Forward fold. Breathe in, reach the arms high. Exhale, Tadasana, take the arms alongside the body. Big breath in. Long breath out, let it go. Well done. Let's take that to the second side. So breathing in to stretch the arms up. Left arm under right this time to find eagle. So you're either holding shoulders or you're wrapping the forearms. And wherever you're at, press your elbows forwards into space to create that opening for the back of your shoulders here. And sink into the knees. So again, you're sitting into your imaginary chair, you're drawing in the belly. And this time it's the right foot that steps back into warrior one. So, stance doesn't have to be all that long. Back toes turning in slightly, front knee bending. Take a moment, get your footing nice and steady, and then think about what's going on through the torso. So if the belly sticking out, bottom sticking out, drawing in the tummy, curling under the tailbone. And as you do that, you'll feel the right hip flexor switching on even more. Back leg nice and strong, don't sag into the back knee, press through the heel. Good, elbows moving forwards into space. Excellent work, let's take it into warrior two. Sweeping the arms open, maybe heel toeing that back foot a little bit further behind to lengthen your stance. Back toes turning in slightly, front toes pointing straight ahead, soften into the left knee. Good. Coming into our shoulder shrugs again. So arms down beside you. Inhale, shoulders up to ears. Squeeze them straight back. And then drag them down the back. Good. Allow the shoulders just to fall naturally where they normally do. Shoulders go straight back and together. Squeezing mid-shoulders in and then dragging them down. Good. Tray of drinks on each hand. Elbows drawing back and together, bottom tips of the shoulder blades squeezing in, dragging them all the way down, and then reaching out through the arms. Well done. Let's take that reverse warrior now. So flip the left palm to the sky, left arm alongside the ear, right fingertips toward the back leg. Big breath in. If you're coming deeper, sink a little lower into the front knee, reaching through the left fingertips to open up through the side body here. So really nice long breaths. Perhaps you're gazing to the outer edge of the back foot to relax the neck. Inhale, come up to the top, find warrior two. Again, that fiddly transition, hands to hips, come up onto the ball of your back foot to square the hips forwards. Looks simple, but it always catches me out. And then slowly, gently lower the back knee to the floor. The slower, the better. So really using the strength of your thigh to lower the back knee down. Coming into our twist. So inhale, right arm alongside the ear. Turning through the body toward the left. Either staying there or you're crossing the right elbow over the left knee, bringing the palms of the hands together, pressing them together and turning through the torso. Again, I'll just change my position so you can see me a little bit better. And if you took any variation on the first side, maybe tucking under the back toes to lift the back knee away from the floor, or a bind, you're very welcome to do so here. So in these deep twists, it's always really, really important to check in with the breath. If you've twisted your breath all the way out, then maybe just take it back a little stage or two. One more inhale. And exhale, fingertips to hips, come up. And take the left leg out to the side for gate pose. Hop, hop, hop. Left heel lines up with the right knee. Pointing through the toes, flexing them, choose what feels good. Left hand onto the thigh, inhale, right arm up. Exhale, start to take your side stretch. So just move to where feels good in your body. If you're able to come deeper, maybe you're sliding your hand down toward the ankle and reaching up and over with the top arm. But try not to round toward the floor, try to keep open through the chest. Well done. Two more really big breaths, ballooning up into the right side body. Good job. Inhale, come up to the top. Let's come onto our seat now. So, take your left foot forwards. Maybe see, can you slide that right foot forwards and come onto your bottom. If not, just take a moment or two to sit yourself down and sweep your legs out in front. So, if you find that with legs extended in front, you naturally curve in the low back and you're feeling quite rounded, then make sure that you've got your cushion. Just pop it underneath your bottom. And you'll find that that will give your hips a little bit more of a lift. It will feel a little bit easier to sit nice and tall. And we're going to come into just a very gentle Janushirasana. So we're going to bend the right knee, sole of the right foot to the top of the left thigh. Left toes can stay floppy here, so we're going to relax the extended leg tonight. Take the hands alongside the extended leg. Inhale deeply. And then as you exhale, soften into your elbows and allow the upper body to just round forwards. So coming into a nice restorative forward fold here. You can soften the chin to chest and relax, start to relax the nervous system by closing the eyes. So ensure that you're not pulling yourself into the stretch here. Thinking of this more like a yin posture. So trying to just allow the weight of your body to draw you slightly deeper into the pose. And thinking about lengthening your exhale. So every time your exhale lengthens, you're giving your body a little opportunity to sink slightly deeper into the fold. One more big breath in. And then exhale, round yourself up to the top. Good. Let's take the left leg out to the side slightly now. So coming into another side stretch, take hold of that right ankle with your left hand and then breathe in to stretch your right arm high. And then as you breathe out, soften into the left elbow and start to make your way into a little side stretch from here. And again, just moving to where it feels good to you. Try not to round yourself forward. Try to keep the upper body opening toward the ceiling. You can gaze underneath the right armpit if that feels comfortable, but if it feels more restorative, to look down toward the left knee, you're very welcome to take that variation. Well done. Breathe in, come all the way up to the top. As we did at the beginning of the class, take the soles of the feet together, let the knees be wide. Again, you can make that diamond shape slightly smaller if the hips are more open. And we're going to round into Baddha Konasana. So Baddha Konasana B, hold onto the heels, I beg your pardon, the ankles. Inhale. Exhale, touch into chest and round. So just allow your head to be really, really heavy here. Let your shoulders be soft. Close the eyes and relax the jaw. So again, maybe you're just checking in on the quality, the pace of your breath. And just noticing, maybe it's changed since the beginning of the practice, maybe it hasn't. But just making these little observations, not thinking about the source, just checking in with where you are right this moment. Inhale, starting to round yourself up to the top. Coming into Janushirshasana on the second side. So this time, taking the sole of the left foot to the top of the right thigh, right leg remains extended, and you can allow your toes to soften as well. So the arms just come down beside your leg, wherever they naturally fall, and then take a big inhale. And exhale, allow the upper body to soften, maybe round slightly as you start to move into your fold. So the right toes can be relaxed and soft, the head can hang forwards and down, and the eyes can start to close. Looking for those opportunities to soften your belly, your jaw, your shoulders. Maybe you feel a bit like you've been carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders recently. You're giving yourself the opportunity here just to let go, even if it's just in an energetic sense, or maybe in like an intentional way. When we set these little intentions in our mind, and sometimes we do it subconsciously without even really realising, it can have a really big impact on what we bring to ourselves, what we attract to ourselves. So just see, can you start to allow any unwanted emotions or feelings leave you with your breath, with your exhale? Just to make space, to create an intention to make space for more positive, more constructive thoughts, emotions to enter your physical and energetic bodies. Well done. Inhale, gently roll all the way up. Bring the right leg out to the side, coming into that side stretch. So right hand to left ankle, left arm up alongside the ear. Big breath in. Breathing out, just taking yourself over to the side, stretching through the left fingertips. Maybe you're relaxing the neck by looking down toward the right knee. And just connecting in. More breaths in, deep and slow breaths out. Two more. Inhale, allow your left arm to draw you all the way up to the top with control. And then taking both legs straight out ahead of you. If you've got anything underneath your seat, just pop it over to one side, spiraling the feet flat to the mat. Make sure you've got loads of room to roll yourself down onto your back. So hands reach forwards, and on your exhale, drawing in the belly button and lowering yourself all the way down to the floor, nice and steadily, nice and slowly. And we'll come into a very gentle twist from here. So open the arms out wide, draw both knees into the chest, take a big inhale. And then as you exhale, lower both knees over to the right, and you can either look straight to the ceiling or maybe gaze to the left hand. See if you can keep the back of your left shoulder connected to the floor. If you want to deepen this twist, you could even cross the left leg over the right. Maybe you're closing off the eyes here and beginning to allow your breath to move back to its most natural rhythm. Well done. Inhale, bring the knees back up to center. And then breathe out, draw the knees to the left. Gaze straight up to the ceiling or to the right. Taking whatever variation that you took on the first side on the second side. So you might be wrapping the right leg over top of left. So you're anchoring down through the backs of the shoulders, the belly softening, and you're allowing gravity to do the work here. You're letting gravity draw the knees over to the side. Well done. Breathe in, come all the way back up to center. One final posture. Let's bring the soles of the feet together, the knees wide like we did at the beginning of the practice. And if your hips are tight, you might be holding onto your shins here. If you've got a little bit more space in the hips, you can interlace the hands around the outer edges of the feet. Very gently press the heels together and just allow the knees to maybe move slightly wider. And just feel like gravity's drawing the heels down in the direction of the pubic bone. So the lower back is completely flat to the floor. And you feel really grounded through the back of your body. And begin to allow your eyes to softly close. As you perhaps start to move into a very meditative state. Beginning to observe the natural pace of your breath. Allow any other mind chatter to perhaps quieten. Moving into Shavasana, relaxation. So if you have any sensitivity in the low back, you can keep the feet in this shape, knees wide and arms wide. Otherwise the legs could be extended along the floor, or if it feels better to connect with your breath this way, you can take a hand onto your heart and hand onto your belly. And of course, if you have any layers, any blankets, any props that you want to use for your Shavasana, then take a moment or two now just to grab them, to slip them on, and I'll give you a moment or so to get yourself comfy. So lying yourself flat, closing off your eyes. And allowing your breath to naturally come and go. And as you find physical stillness in your body, having a sense that the energy of your body is settling. The back body grows heavier into the earth beneath you. And there's almost a sense that you're being physically cradled by the ground. And acknowledging the strength and the stability of the earth. Perhaps strong and stable isn't how we've all exactly been feeling recently. But that sense of tapping into that natural power. And if possible, allowing any random thoughts to just pass through, keeping your attention solely on your breath. And acknowledging that for these final few moments of your practice, these final few moments of your day, you truly have nothing else to do and nowhere else to be. Enjoying this opportunity to completely relax. So if you happen to have a little longer this evening for your Shavasana, I welcome you to stay exactly as you are and to soak it up. But if it's time to be making your way, then just start by allowing the breath to deepen a little bit more. Almost that sense like you're breathing life back into your body. Wiggling your fingers and your toes. And then eventually reaching the arms above the head and enjoying a full body stretch. Take a moment to hug the knees in and just rock yourself over to one side, pausing there for a moment in a fetal position. Acknowledge everything that you've achieved on your yoga mat this evening. Acknowledge everything that you've achieved in the entirety of your day. And then finally coming all the way up into a comfortable seated position. And as you arrive there, bring your hands to prayer position at your heart center and just bow your chin gently to the chest. And we'll close our practice this evening with the sound of Om. So if you'd like to, Please feel free to join me by inhaling through the nose. Take a moment just to allow that vibration to settle into the physical body. And when you're ready, bring your prayer hands to the space between your eyebrows and lengthen up nice and tall. Peace in your thoughts. Take your prayer hands in front of your lips. Peace in your words and in front of your heart. Peace in your actions. Namaste, everybody. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to run this class for you this evening. So I hope that it was enjoyable, and I hope that you all had a really lovely, restful night's sleep. And I look forward to seeing you all again when this craziness has passed. Lots of love to you and your families. Stay well, stay happy, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Good night, everyone.